Again, welcome back. This is the second reading of the elemental signs. Sorry for my stumbling. This is a love reading for the month of August. What I've established here is a love grid. Excuse me. I've already done for the fire signs, which is your Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I have a love grid and a love altar set up right here. This is just a um, short reading on how you can harness the energies that are present around us for this month of August for love. As with the last video, I did give a warning of Mercury retrograde, which ends on August 19th. So it does have a tendency to mess up communication on all aspects when it comes to relationships. People come from out of the past, miscommunication in marriages and relationships and things like that. The other disclaimer is love readings are not always about love for others. Sometimes it's about what you need to be doing to love yourself. And in some cases, it's both. What you need to do to fix your relationships can be dependent on what you need to be doing to fix yourself. So now we're going to go into the water signs. Your water signs include Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. A little bit about the attributes of the water signs is that they can be refreshing, charming, mysterious, they're private, they're sensitive, and they're emotional. And you see a lot of people kind of, especially with Cancer season, we kind of beat up the Cancers a little bit. I don't really get too much of that. That yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's me being funny. Scorpios, I love you too. I'll just say that. All right. So just with the last reading, I had a higher perspective, or what's going to be the high point of what's going on for the month, what's going to be going on with the low point, what you'll be trying to control, what you'll be trying to create. And again, I am using the Ascendant Master cards. I did shuffle them, so if the same cards come up, and as soon as I said it, same cards come up from the last reading, different positions and different directions. So that's going to be the high point of the month. This is going to be the low point of the month. This is what you're trying to control, and this is what you need to be trying to create. So the high point of the month is you do need to be trying to take control of your situation, and that is like with the fire signs. If you don't go back and read it, I'll just dip into that a minute. With the fire signs, the high point of the month was we were having to deal with forcing not forcing but being positive change. And this one here, I mean, this one is saying take charge of the situation. In a sense, same thing, just it's a water sign and you're dealing with water. Moses, he parted the seas. So this is a kind of a call for you to sit yourself down and start looking at, again, one of your attributes is emotional, looking at your emotional investment in what's going on. You need to move thoroughly, but you need to be clear, and move obstacles out of the way. If you are going into a situation or already currently in a situation where you're trying to get to the higher ground, and find some peace or find some resolution, you're going to have to not be passive about it and can't leave it in the other person's hand as in I need a clear message from you before I can go forward. No, this is your time to stand on your solid ground and be clear in what you're going to do or end up drowning. You want to be Moses, not Ramses, in this situation. So take charge of the situation and lead your people. In leading your people, I mean yourself. Lead yourself to your promised land. Get out of the things that are drowning you emotionally and get to higher ground and do it safely. Don't be sitting there stuttering like how Moses used to do. Don't stutter and I'm not clear in what I'm wanting from my situation. Because if you keep sending emotionally based mixed messages, you're going to get emotionally based situations. So that's what your higher ground needs to be for the month, is getting into taking charge of the situation and getting out of it, or getting into a clarity point. I'm not going to say leave your situation, but making it work for you. The lower point, what you need to be mindful of for the month of August, is the power of joy. And the figure for that is Maitreya. Kind of like a jolly figure and all that stuff. Um, this isn't really a bad card for a low point, because I mean, what you what I'm feeling from the card intuitively, and I throw that word intuitively, what I'm feeling from the card is that some of us, especially you water signs, because you are emotionally based, and this is no slight against you, because even as a fire sign, we do this too under the guise of passion. But your emotional attachment to things can bring you a sense of balance. It's almost like if you're not getting that bump back from your significant other or your situation, you're not balanced, and you make you think that that's not what I need to be calling joy. In other words, it's almost like an abuse cycle, and you need to be mindful of that. What are you calling joy? What power are you getting from your situation, and what are you empowering within your situation that's giving you a false sense of joy? So you need to be mindful that if you are in an abuse cycle, arguing, hopefully it's not violent, or there's just a common understanding of mistrust that comes with your relationship. And again, this could be self. If you just know you can't trust yourself in certain situations, and you fine with that because that is who I am, you might want to recheck that during this month of August, because miscommunication with others is very real, as in miscommunication with self too. It's all around miscommunication time. So find out what you're calling joy and be better about how you get into it. What you have been trying to control, or what you will be trying to control for this month of August, which, sometimes control is the enemy, is working your magic, Saint Germain. This comes off to me in the practitioner sense of, a lot of us think that we have a magical solution for everything that's wrong in our life. And I mean, I can tell you that firsthand. Magic can fix a lot of things, but don't matter how many cast spells you got going on, how many freezer bags and sweetening jars and honey jars and all that stuff. If it ain't meant to be, it ain't meant to be. The figure on the card is Saint Germain. If you know anything about Saint Germain, he's the keeper of the violet flame. The violet flame is a transmuting level ray. It clears and transmute everything that no longer serves. So work your magic in the sense of calling on, say, Saint Germain or any keeper of the violet flame, Kuan Yin, or whoever you want to call on. Call on somebody with that violet flame to cut through everything that no longer serves you, versus you trying to serve more energy into a situation that has probably put you down here with a false sense of the power of joy. You done came up with a delusion of what it takes to make you happy, and now you're working all your magic into keeping that false level of happiness, versus saying, no, let me stand up and take charge of the situation and put myself in a safe state. Let me work my magic for myself. Let me call in the higher aspects of this universe, including my higher self, to put me in a better position of love. And sometimes that means you're going to have to love yourself more than you love your situation. So, and that kind of goes over here to what you need to be trying to create is freedom. People pronounce this differently. Hina, Hyena. I'm not going into pronunciations. I'll call her Hyena. You know what? I'm not trying to be funny, but look at the card. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. Freedom. She's basically at a point to where she's creating that image within herself, so that it externally comes out too. I mean, a lot of people, will say as above, so below, as within, so without. She's proclaiming her freedom from the things that are falsely driving her, such as we was talking about down here, like with the power of joy. Are you finding joy in the negatives of your situation that you're now assigning the energies of peace to? She's free from all that. She's free to be herself internally and externally. She is emotionally in check. She's emotionally in control, and she's exuding beauty from within and externally. So you have to free yourself from thinking that you need to be working magic to keep a situation that may no longer serve you and giving you a false sense of joy. And there's a lot of us that done that. I'm not a water sign. I have water tendencies because I'm a cusp. And if you don't know anything about cusp sign, that's a whole nother video. But basically, I'm an Aries with a cusp of, Pisces, because I come into Aries right after Pisces. So I can kind of apply this to myself too. So I will say that too. If you're a cusp child and you're aware of your cusps, you can look at, more than one reading. And then at the same time, we are all things in this universe. So there will be some component of all four of these readings that you can apply to yourself. But in this sense, what you need to be trying to create is freedom from yourself. Freedom from judgment of yourself, freedom of judgment from others, freedom from the need to be tied into others who don't honor your soul, freedom from anything that does not put you at a state of higher good. And the best way you can do that is by starting to take charge of your situation. Once again, I'm Tony, also known as T Jinx on Instagram, and Healing Reveal on Facebook. This is a love reading for the month of August. It is good through the month of August, but I will say that some of this will have some Mercury retrograde components tied into it until it goes back direct in the 19th, and maybe a couple days after you will feel it. So take all this with a grain of salt, but at any rate, start taking charge of your situation, but do not think that you can control others through magic, and do not forget to cleanse and clear yourself to get yourself to a state of being free. Peace and wholeness.